is open. Join us, leave your field to flower. Join us, leave your cheese to sour. Join us, come and waste an hour or two. We've got magic to do just for you. Good evening. I am Patrick Cassidy. Welcome to Studio Tenn Talks. I am the artistic director for Studio Tenn. I am so happy to be here. This is our 15th week. 15 weeks. I can't believe it. And we are supported by all of you who are tuning in and saying hello. I see my wife, Melissa Early Cassidy, has said hello. Welcome tonight. We have an incredible show. These two women, there has never been so much talent in one show that I get to interview like these two women. I first want to tell you that what is new with Studio Tenn. Well, you guys might have seen our third episode of Studio Tenn Talks when I had on my very good friend, Mr. Adam Pascal. Now, Adam was the original Roger in Rent on Broadway. He received a Tony nomination for that performance. He then went on to do the same role in the movie of Rent. He's been on Broadway in Pretty Woman, in Chicago. What else? Oh, Aida. That's where he and I met, Elton John's Aida. He's an incredibly talented guy. Stay tuned. Tomorrow at 10 a.m., we are going to make an announcement concerning Adam Pascal. That's all I can say. Stay tuned, 10 a.m. Also, on August 27th, Studio Tenn is going to produce the first virtual musical variety show. Now, this is an event that we are putting forward. It has a VIP meal that comes with it. We are going to have talent from Tennessee. Megan Murphy Chambers is going to be performing. We have Patrick Thomas who's going to be performing. We have Los Angeles artists performing, Jason Gra, Deanna Anthony. We have kids from our education program, from the musical theater contest that we put forth. I'm actually going to perform too. They've got me doing that. It's going to be an incredible night. Please get your tickets at Studio Tenn StudioTenn.com. We have tickets there, and you can get the VIP package. We have a silent auction. I'm telling you, it's going to be an incredible event. Grab that. So as you know, we produce musical theater. We produce plays. That's what we do. And right now, like so many other theater companies, we can't do that. So we survive on our donations. And you guys have been so generous. Please keep them coming. That's why we do Studio Tenn Talks. That's why we launched the musical theater contest. And that's why we're doing this musical variety show. So without further ado, let's get to our guests. We have two incredible guests. Our first guest, Jennifer Whitcomb-Oliva. She has a Bachelor's of Arts degree from Austin Peay State University. She has performed locally with Nashville Repertory Theater, Tennessee Women's Theater Project, Nashville Children's Theater, and Nashville Opera. She recently wrote and performed her one-woman show called The Darkness and Other Black Things. She has artistically directed and choreographed a full-length ballet. Jennifer, we got to talk about that. Full-length ballet. It's Fantassos, a Nutcracker story. You'll correct me that. A staple performer here at Studio Tenn. She is unbelievable for us. She was recently seen as Weezer Boudreaux in Steel Magnolias. She was also seen as the stepmother in Cinderella. She did Big River for us. She did Beauty and the Beast for us. And the last time we saw her for the Studio Tenn Talks and Artist Conversation earlier this summer, please welcome the very talented Miss Jennifer Whitcomb-Oliva. There she is.
Hi.
Hey, Jen. How are you?
Hey. I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. You look stunning.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You're not looking too bad yourself, Patrick.
Thank you. Welcome to the show. So let's just get right to this, because the last time we talked, it was, I guess, about 6 weeks ago. We were talking. We had a special edition of the show, the Artist Conversation, and you and Erica Patterson, who played Cinderella, and my buddy from New York, who was in Book of Mormon, Derek Williams, talked about everything that was going on at that time. Has anything changed? Do you have anything new to add? How has it been for you in those last 6 weeks?
I mean, I wouldn't say there's much change. I think everything in the pandemic and quarantine right now, we're all just trying to get through it and come out of it okay. And I know that we are at this crossroads. We're at a strange crossroads and things are changing. But I really do believe that things are going to change for the better. It's only up and up from here. So yeah, we'll just keep hoping for the best.
I'm hoping, and we pray about it every day. And you were fantastic that day on the show. Everything that you had to say was so insightful, and for me it was just great having you on, and Erica, because I got to work with both of you in Cinderella. You were both great.
Well, thank you so much.
So talk to me about what it's like to be, we talked about this a little bit, what it's like to be a local artist in Middle Tennessee and here with the Rep, with Studio Tenn, with the Children's Theater. Tell me what that's like for you.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I think the art scene here is much bigger than people give it credit for. But I think the thing that really sets Nashville and the Franklin area, just the Tennessee area, out from other things is we really are very close-knit, tight-knit. We're a family, and the Southern hospitality, it's real. It's a real thing. And it's just wonderful to work as an actor here. There's more opportunities. I don't know if I would say more. The opportunities are greater here because there's a smaller pool. But I think, let's not hang on to that thread too long because it's blowing up. Our city's getting pretty big now.
It sure is. It sure is.
It is really growing at a very fast rate. But there are such wonderful opportunities here, and I think that more people should come and seize them because it's really wonderful. Truly.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more about the Southern hospitality. Since I arrived, I was just like, why did I ever spend so much time in Los Angeles? Why didn't I come to Tennessee sooner? People are so kind here, and it's real. It's genuine. It's really wonderful. So I want to show our people just a little of the incredible talent that you have. So this is from Chicago. Did you play in Chicago?
Mama Morton.
Yes, of course. You were amazing. This is from Chicago. Jennifer Whitcomb-Oliva.
When they pass that basket, folks contribute too. You put in for Mama, she'll put out for you. The folks that top the ladder are the ones the world adores. So boost me up my ladder, kid, and I'll boost you up yours. Let's all stroke together like the prince and crew. When you're stroking Mama, Mama's stroking you.
Oh, God. Oh, you are a fantastic singer. I mean, I knew that, but wow, what a voice you have. And you have how many octave range? What is it?
4. It's 4, like 4 number. Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. I know you sang in Cinderella, although you didn't get a big solo and stuff like that. And of course, you sang for our happy hour show. You sang Valley High beautifully. What Rodgers and Hammerstein show, or actually just what show would you love? What part would you love to play the most?
That question always makes me, because there's so many. Passion is right at the top of my list. To sing Fosca is a dream. There are not that many roles for a mezzo soprano. I know there are lots of sopranos who sing it. I actually, believe it or not, I'm a bona fide contralto. So there are not roles that home my voice so well. And that is a role that I just drool. Oh, I'm just drooling over it. one day. I would love to play that part.
Well, maybe I could work out with our next guest, Kelli O'Hara. She could play Clara, and you could play Fosca. And when I was really young, I could play Giorgio, but not anymore.
Listen, that would be a dream. Let me tell you. I mean, the music is just stunning. It's stunning. It's beautiful, and it's haunting. I just love it. But I love a good dark show. I'm one of those sad, dark, depressing.
It's a great one. We have some photographs I want to talk about of you. So we're going to run these photographs of shows that you've done for Studio Tenn. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
So that was Weezer. You were so great in that part in Steel Magnolias.
Thank you.
And this is Big River, right?
Yes, that's Big River. I played Callie Carter. That was an original.
And there you are as the stepmother.
Hi, there she is. The Holy Terror.
And this is Beauty and the Beast?
It is Beauty and the Beast. Yes, the Madame.
How about, I love that head. It was like Carmen Miranda. I love that.
Wasn't that great? It was so great. Let me tell you, I can't say that I have ever experienced anything like walking around as a giant wardrobe. It almost felt like I was at Disneyland because we had to have so many people to help me move around and become mobile. But it was so fun. It was so fun.
Well, when I saw you, when you were in Steel Magnolias, I came back and I'd seen you do the stepmother and you were fantastic and funny and just engaging. But then Weezer for you, because, we just talked about, you are a young person, but you have this ability to play people that are older than you. That's a skill in itself. I mean, Weezer is much older than you. You know what I mean, as a person, and yet you found the acting thing and the comedy of that character so beautifully.
Thank you so very much.
Was she fun?
She was so fun. She was so fun, and I will tell you, I feel like my secret behind that character was because I personally am a Southern woman. I am Southern bred and corn fed, I always say, and I know those women. I think that's why that piece is so cherished.
Mm-hmm.
I know her, and I actually have a Weezer in my life. So it felt so right to be able to put life into that because it was like, I know her. I know this crotchety old woman. I have been knowing her my whole life. So yeah, so much fun. So much fun.
Do you see all these people from comments from Madison? They're all saying, Jennifer, you were in Beauty and the Beast at Studio Tenn a couple of years ago. Oh my God, you were in Beauty and the Beast. And everybody's saying how fantastic you are in Steel Magnolias and in Big River.
Oh, thank you so much.
You have a lot of fans here in Tennessee, Jen. A lot of fans.
So nice. Thank you.
So the last question I wanted to ask you about, because you're so talented, would you like to go to New York City? Because you'd make it there in a second, or do you like being here in Tennessee?
You know what? I absolutely. I'm a free spirit, and I go where the gigs are. When people want me to come and perform something, I will. Like I did actually get to perform in New York at the New York Musical Theater Festival way back in the day. It was so much fun. I love the city. I love it. I mean, yes, Broadway, I can say was never my goal. I was never one of those that, eat, breathed, and sleep to have to be on Broadway. But if my path, if it takes me there, absolutely. I absolutely would. Who wouldn't want to be on Broadway? That'd be great. And if that happened,
they would welcome you, Jen. They would welcome you.
Listen, let's just say it hasn't happened for me yet. Out of all the thousands of videos I've sent in, I haven't been selected yet, but you never know. There might be a yes at some point. And if I get it, I definitely will pack my bags and go for sure.
Well, it's only a matter of time. Jennifer, you're
so kind.
You're so talented. And thank you for being a part of tonight's show. I can't wait because Studio Tenn will be back and you'll be in another show for us if you're not already on Broadway.
Oh goodness. Well, yeah, I think we all look forward to the time when we can all set foot back into a theater. So
Amen.
Definitely looking forward to that.
Thank you, Jen. Thanks. It's so good to see you.
Thank you so much.
She's amazing. I can't, she's just amazing. If for the people watching, if you saw Steel Magnolias or Cinderella, you guys will know what I'm talking about. Jennifer Whitcomb-Oliva is so talented, and we are so lucky to have her in Tennessee. So our next guest, okay, Kelli O'Hara. Kelli O'Hara. Let me I'm only listing this many of her credits because we just only have an hour. So she's award-winning stage and film star. She received the 2015 Tony Award for Best Leading Actress in a Musical, along with Grammy, Drama League, Outer Critics, and Olivier nominations for her portrayal as Anna in The King and I. Other Broadway credits include Kiss Me Kate, The Bridges of Madison County, Nice Work If You Can Get It, South Pacific, The Pajama Game, Light in the Piazza, Sweet Smell of Success, Follies, Dracula, and Jekyll and Hyde. She made her Metropolitan Opera debut in, is it Le Har's The Merry Widow, of course, in 2015. She's an Emmy nominated for her work in The Accidental Wolf. Other screen credits include 13 Reasons Why, All the Bright Places, Peter Pan Live, and Sex and the City 2. In 2019, she won the Drama League's Distinguished Achievement in Musical Theater Award. Wow, she's amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kelli O'Hara.
Hi.
You know, we only have a certain amount of time. I can only list so many credits on you.
Well, that was nice. Thank you.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. And I'm enjoying this so much. I loved listening to everything about Jennifer and seeing, boy, what a voice on her. I just, and then when you say, you say have you been to Broadway? I mean, she's taken Nashville by storm, but
Totally.
Let me tell you, Jennifer, come to Broadway. We miss you there. And also, just the idea of her doing Fosca, that
great?
I mean, I think I got goosebumps. It's just, that needs to happen.
It's a great idea.
Who do we call? Sondheim. Yeah.
We'll work it out.
Yeah.
So you and I haven't seen, well, okay. You and I worked 16 years ago in the Mulpeshire. Yeah, was that? I know. I was just a little old now. I'm really old. No. And now and we did Take Flight, which was the Mulpeshire, musical about the evolution of flying. And you played Amelia Earhart. I got to play your husband, George Putnam. And then, we did the Manhattan Theater Club thing together with my brother. And then I came to see you in Light in the Piazza, and I came to see you in South Pacific. But it's been so long. You look so great. Congratulations on all the unbelievable success you've had.
Thank you so much, Patrick. Thank you. And you too.
You were like a kid. I can't believe it now.
Well, I remember that actually very well, doing that project with you. You were so wonderful and so supportive and such a great partner in that, and made me feel so comfortable. And then I'm so glad we got to do that concert again together. Mm-hmm. Then I got to work with your mother. I mean, listen, I was born and raised in Western Oklahoma. So you can imagine the one person I was watching on the movie musicals when I was a kid. If there were two, it was Julie Andrews and Shirley Jones.
Okay, wait, you're spoiling my question.
Oh, sorry. I
want to get to you and my mother in a second. And by the way, my mother's watching, Kelli.
Oh my God!
Yeah. So there you go.
I can say all sorts of stories about your mother, but okay.
So you went to college in Oklahoma, right, where you were raised, right?
That's right. There was one teacher there, and I had to be with her. So. And
that teacher, I want to tell, because I know you talk about it in your Tony speech. I knew about it. I've talked to Kristen about it. You and Kristen Chenoweth both had the same vocal teacher. Is that correct?
That's right.
And she is
Florence Birdwell.
Florence Birdwell. Oh, my wife is saying, wow.
Oh, hi, Melissa. It's been years. How are you?
Florence Birdwell. I mean, just those two students. If she never taught anybody else in life, the two of you.
And she did. There's a lot of Broadway, New York people. There's Megan Mullally was a student of hers. A lot of us out there. And when I say one teacher, there are many beautiful teachers in Oklahoma, but she was the one that I was 5 years old when I heard about her, and I never changed my mind. I just had to be with her.
And is she still teaching?
No, she's not teaching. She retired, several years back. But
wow.
But for years, even after I left Oklahoma, she was my on the phone teacher. She would come see me in different cities.
Was she at the college, or was it a private teacher? She taught voice at the college.
Yeah, Oklahoma City University, which is where we both went. Kristen.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How many shows did you do in college? Were you the lead in every show that you got?
No, I'm a late bloomer, my friend. I was in my high school plays, but then I got to college and it was that, wow, you learn a lesson. Like I remember the first music was What Other Than Music Man, right?
Right.
So I was, oh, this is a shoe-in. Didn't even get in the cast. Didn't even get in the ensemble. No, so it took me a minute, and then I became an opera major just because of by virtue of how my voice works, and so I ended up doing later on. I played a few roles, like we did Carnival and things like that. But I did some operas in college too. So
Well, that's a great way because we have a bunch of clips on you. So we're going to show one clip. We're actually showing it two parts because the number is like 7 minutes long, but it is unbelievable about being a country singer who now who wrote this song? Because it was written for you.
It was written for me. Yes, because I grew up, I was a farm girl, Southern, born and raised. In fact, my mom's whole family is from a town in Arkansas, right near Memphis, Tennessee. So, I eat Southern and do the whole thing Southern. But yes, a friend of mine, my music director of the last 17 years, Dan Lipton, and his writing partner, Dave Rossimer, I said, I need a song that is like Glitter and Be Gay or something like that, but is mine. And so I was about to have a baby, so they wrote this whole song about being pregnant in the opera, but being a country singer, but then wanting to be an opera singer. So it's called.
Okay, so we're going to show the first part of it, which kind of sets up you as the country singer, and then we're going to cut away, and then we're going to go back to the second part. Okay. So this is Kelli O'Hara. Take a look. Okay, so Nashville's not the place you sing high C. I had to put that in.
I love it.
To see the whole thing. Okay, so you sing this thing. You got your cowboy hat on. We know you're from the South. We know you love the South. We know you love country music. And then what happens is you never sort of get a chance to get to the Grand Ole Opry, basically, right? You have a child, you get married, and we're going to talk about Greg and your children later. But then what happens during you have this baby, right?
Right. I go to have a baby and I go into labor while I'm at the Metropolitan Opera.
Let's show that next clip. Here we go. I don't know what to say. Genius? Brilliant?
Trash? Who knows?
It is. That song is so I mean, you said, I need a song about my life, growing up in the country, being a country singer, and then becoming an opera singer. It's brilliant.
Well, you know, the fact that I was going to go into labor, it gives a great reason to do melismas and, you know, go all over the place. It's been a lot of fun. They wrote it for me. At one point they were going to write a whole opera about it, but it's you want to find the song that shows everything you want to try to do.
That you do.
Mm-hmm.
And how much, okay, so you got your start on Broadway, you did not get your start in the opera, you then did the opera after Broadway, right?
Yeah, way after. You know, I always wanted to do theater and musical theater. And so I got that degree in opera, but then I moved right to Broadway, to New York, and took acting classes and ended up doing Broadway, which is what I wanted to do anyway. Yeah.
I saw you. Do you remember the first time I met you? I saw you in Dracula. I met you at Dracula.
Oh.
And I was like, who is that? I was like, listen to that voice. That voice is, I couldn't believe it. I want to show one other clip about you on Broadway, because now that we've seen your incredible, ridiculous opera skills. But as you said, so you won the Tony Award for The King and I, and we're going to talk about Rodgers and Hammerstein. First, I'll tell you, do you know that my mother was the only person ever to put under exclusive contract to Rodgers and Hammerstein? Did you know that?
Oh, I did not know that.
At a time when most actors were under contract to studios, they put her under exclusive contract, which gave her, you know, after Oklahoma.
Yeah, Carousel. Oh my God, I did not know that. And you know, was the time at Dracula when you came, I just want to ask you, was it when you told me about the great Robert Preston story about you kicking?
Yes,
I remember. I just forgot where that was. But yes, I remember that. Oh, I love that story.
It's like sort of theater lore in my house.
It's in my house too, yes.
So we're going to show you a little clip from The King and I.
Okay.
Getting to know you, getting to know all about you, getting to like you, getting to hope you like me, getting to know you, putting it my way, but nicely. You are precisely my cup of tea. Getting to know you, getting to feel free and easy. When I am with you, getting to know what to say. Haven't you noticed? Suddenly I'm bright and breezy because of all the beautiful and new things I'm learning about you day by day.
Bravo, Anna. And for that, you received this coveted little award. Is that right?
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
This one isn't mine. It's my father's, but you have a real wow. How many Rodgers and Hammerstein show have you gotten to do? Have you gotten to do all of them?
No, I've never done The Sound of Music.
Oh, you haven't?
And
Well,
I've never, yeah.
You're still young for The Sound of Music.
No, although Mary Martin, she was, you know, I keep trying to tell people, I think she was about my age when she did it. So why not?
Did you do Lori in Oklahoma?
I did, but only once. And that was when I was also too old, but it was 2007 was Oklahoma's centennial birthday.
Oh, yeah.
And so they did this big production and I went home and did it. Just long in the tooth, just playing Laurie. But it was my first time.
So you've done Rodgers and Hammerstein, you've done Berlin, you've done Sondheim, you've done Adam Guettel, you've done. Tell me, is there a composer that you haven't worked with that you'd like to do?
Oh gosh. Yeah, no, there's a lot. There's so many, and probably ones that I don't even know. But all the new ones coming up, I'm just thrilled about. Yeah, I would love to know of something, you know. It was when I found people like Adam Guettel and Ricky Ian Gordon and Jason Robert Brown that I started to find my way, you know, for new music to be written, because I was sort of in this weird in between of opera and musical theater. And so I'm waiting for that new thing to be written by someone really wonderful new composer.
We will find that. So I wanted to. So let's tell me. Okay, so you said that my mother and Julie Andrews were big influences for you growing up.
Listen, I grew up in a little tiny town in Western Oklahoma. There was no live theater except for a little red carpet community theater. I never saw anything live until I was really grown. And so I was watching movie musicals. And the first one I ever saw was Oklahoma, and then probably moved on to Carousel. And of course, then, Sound of Music. And I just knew where my place was. I knew where I belonged. And so that's why I think representation is so important. And we're talking about it so much right now in our world about really seeing every single kind of person everywhere, so that kids know, hey, that's what I want to do, because I feel so blessed every day that I saw it right there. And your mom was it for me. So
it says, "Oh, Kelli, you probably don't remember me,
I
but
see this.
Cheerleaders and Mrs.
Hi, Melody. Yes. Yes. That's crazy.
Our friend Danny Anderson, who's on our board, he's a good friend of mine here. He says, "Bravo, what an amazing voice as you do." So, okay, so you've gotten to do pretty much all the R&H shows, and which brings us to a little game that we play here on this show. It's called Remember the Lyric. Okay.
Ooh,
okay. So this lyric is from a show you did. It's from a song you sang. And the way we play is I will sing the first lyric, and then I'll point at you to give me the lyric back, and then we'll see how far we can go. Now, on a personal note, this song was sung in my house so many times that it was, I think from the time I was in my mother's womb, I heard this song. It was legendary. But to have a chance to actually sing just a tiny bit of it with you would be a dream come true for me. Are you ready?
Yeah.
If I loved you time and again, I would try to say
all I'd want you to know.
If I loved you, words wouldn't come in an easy way.
Round in circles I'd go. Easy.
I sang with Kelli O'Hara, If I Loved You.
Oh.
Mom, hey.
Hey, I won't take any time, but can I just tell this little thing?
Sure.
There was one little thing where I got to do this short little production of Music Man. And your mom and I did it together. It was just, I couldn't believe it. It's almost gonna make me cry. And she played Madame Peru, I played Marion, and we would talk afterwards. And at the time, I thought that I might be pregnant with the reason the story about you means so much to me is because in that moment, I thought it didn't happen. It was during that time when we were trying and everything, and it wasn't a pregnancy, but I thought, and she was the one that I told. I sat there and I said, nobody knows, but just like you, when you were in Music Man and Robert Preston felt Patrick kick, I was like, I think maybe the same thing's happening with me because I'm with you. It wasn't, but still, she was just so beautiful and lovely.
It is, we got to do, I've told this many, many times, but we got to do Music Man together 3 times. I've done it 5 times, but we did it 3 times, and she played Widow Peru. And the first time I did it, I had never done Hill before and wanted it my whole life. That's a long story, but I'll tell you, it was great. But when we did it, the director said, listen, I want you, Shirley, to sing at the very end of Goodnight, My Someone with Amaryllis and with the Marion. So it became this trio at the end, which was like, and for anybody playing Marion with my mother there. So then he started incorporating my mom, like in the rocking chair, watching Marion sing My White Knight. And then at the very end of the show, after they've seen us dance Shapoopy together, and after they've seen us, we would do Gary, Indiana, which is in the movie, but not in the play. They'd put it back in the play. And we would tell the story. about how I kicked Robert Preston on the footbridge. And we would sing just like she would sing, there were bells on the hill, but I never heard them ringing. And I would sing it back to her, and then the whole cast would join us. And I tell because, the addendum to the story is, Kelli, is that 20 years later, I was doing Night of 100 Stars, and I had never met him. And I went to his dressing room and I knocked on the door, and the door opened, and I said, "Excuse me, Mr. Preston, I have to introduce myself. My name is Patrick Cassidy." And he took a step back. He says, "No, we've already met." So that's kind of the theater thing. But
I think the story I tell, because I think I tell people that he went, "Don't kick," or something like that.
he stepped back. He said, "What the heck was that?" But it's a. Have you done Marion yet? Has that come?
Only that one time, and it was literally like a week. It was one of these regional things, and she came in and we did it. It was a special concert sort of version, and we did it together. And I just it was just everything to me.
So I saw you. I mean, if anybody doesn't know this, but I'm going to let them. So Adam Gettle is the grandson of Mr. Richard Rodgers, and Kelli originated the role in Light in the Piazza, and I saw you do it. It was absolutely brilliant. What was that? Tell me about that whole process and what that was all about. What that was like.
It was quite a process. I mean, I worked on the whole thing for over 5 years. I just randomly, it just goes to show anybody out there who thinks they have a job and the job ends and you think the world's over, it usually means another door is going to open. And I was in Sweet Smell of Success, which wasn't a success on Broadway. And I thought I had no job. And I went to Sundance Theater Lab and got randomly put in this show. And I was playing Franca, the sister-in-law in Light in the Piazza. And I did it in Seattle, then we did it at the Goodman, and then I ended up moving over to Clara once we got to Broadway. And it was an over 5-year process that really changed my life. And there I was working with the grandson of Richard Rodgers, who has a very distinct and different voice than that. And around that time, I had this idea that he should write a musical for me and a good friend of mine, Brian Darcy James, based on the Days of Wine and Roses.
Mm-hmm.
And after 17 years, it is finished and it is slotted for Broadway next spring. So
you and Brian?
Yep.
Oh.
So we will, and it's Adam back on the boards, Adam Gettle. So and Craig Lucas, who wrote the book for Light in the Piazza.
He did. He wrote the script I did of Longtime Companion, the first film about AIDS. Yeah.
Yes.
And Prelude to a Kiss. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to see that. That's
very dark. Not a good time show, but but Jennifer would like it because it's dark.
Okay, so I want to tell you this will be fun for you. So I was looking at your leading men. Now these are just some of them. Okay, your leading men have been Matthew Morrison, The Light in the Piazza; Harry Connick Jr., Pajama Game; Matthew Broderick, Nice Work If You Can Get It; Stephen Pasquale, The Bridges of Madison County; Paolo Schatz, South Pacific; Will Chase, Kiss Me Kate; and of course Patrick Cassidy, a 1-week rehearsal stage reading of Multi-Shire's Take Flight. Now, we know who the number one guy is. We know that. But who is the second best leading man you've enjoyed working with?
I'll never tell. I'll never tell. No.
You have had these guys, these incredibly talented men that you've gotten to work with. They're ridiculous.
Ken Watanabe, The King and I. It's one after another. Just I've gotten so lucky with generous, sweet, creative, talented co-stars, and so believe me, I'm so grateful every time.
Yeah, they're great. I'm fans of all of them. Which brings me to the serious man in your life, Mr. Greg Naughton, your husband. How long are you guys married now? Because you guys were dating when we did Take Flight. That's
right. We've been dating for over 17 years, so that makes sense. And we've been married just this week. We celebrated 13 years.
No.
Yeah.
I'm going on 27.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And my children are a lot older than yours. My boys, I don't know if you know this, Kelli, but the reason that Melissa and I came to Tennessee was that our son Jack, who's 21, got a record deal and a publishing deal. So we kind of followed him to Tennessee.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Tell me about your two children.
Owen is 11 and he's a flipper. He's a G-tramp flipper and a piano player. And so he does flips on the ground and on the trampoline. My daughter is 6.5. Her name's Charlotte. And she is about 18, but they're amazing. And I've had this kind of sort of strange silver lining of a gift in the last several months, just to, I mean, I'm with them all the time, but I mean, to really never spend a day apart and to kind of watch them learn and help homeschool them back in the spring, and then try to, find new ways to be creative. We're just all learning new things from each other, and they're amazing.
Well, two things. One of the things that happened during this pandemic for Studio Tenn was that we came up with this virtual musical contest where kids and families, teens and youth and family, they submitted musical theater songs with complete sets and costumes. And it was a great way for families to get together and do something when they were sort of confined,
Yeah.
And it came out of me with my kids. I have another son who's a mechanical engineer in California, and they were doing, push-up contests on Instagram. And I said, let's give kids and families a chance to do that. And the creativity was just amazing.
That sounds wonderful. What a great idea, because, everybody was looking for what new game can we play, or we were trying to do improv rapping, like we'd put a beat on and we would, have we would just new things to try to keep yourself creative.
Did you? Okay. So it's a great question. Again, my mother went through this too. How do you balance being a Kelli O'Hara professional singing Broadway sensation star and being a mom and being a wife and being all that domestic good stuff?
Well, I mean, I don't know what, obviously your mother did a great job. I don't know what she would say, because she was doing movies and TV and all of those things. But in addition, I think that I would say that the balance is something that you have to give yourself a break on. Some days I feel really like I've got everything going great. Other days I feel like I'm failing. Some days I feel like I'm really succeeding. What I do know, though, and I've forgiven myself for, or it's a daily process of forgiving myself, is that I love that I have a passion for something. And I want them to know that. I want them to see that I have a passion for something in addition to them. They know where my priorities are. They're with them, but at the same time, I take them with me on my journeys. They often come with me, and we sing together as a family. And I think that's a good thing to show your children, is that, they're not responsible for my complete happiness, but they know that they make me happy, but they also know that mom has other things. And so I feel like that's sort of a service to them, to then encourage them to go after their own passions and their own dreams, and not worry about, doing everything just the way I'd want them to, be themselves.
Well, that was perfect what you said. And we're going to show now your Tony speech, because your Tony speech, I think, sums up everything that you just said. Kelli O'Hara from the Tony Awards 2015.
Thank you with all of my heart. I'm going to take a deep breath, and you'd think that I would have written something down by now, but I haven't. I wouldn't allow myself to do that, but I will say this. I love what I do. And I don't need this, but now that I have it, I've got some things to say. I come from a place far away, but there's a little teacher there, and two of us tonight, Kristen and I, share her. Florence Birdwell, thank you for that. The other women, yes, Florence, thank you. The other women in my category, a legend, future legends. I am so proud to be part of you, part of your air tonight. My parents, who are sitting next to me for the 6th time, you don't have to pretend, it's okay this time. And thank you for giving me roots, for Florence Birdwell for giving me wings, Bart Shear for teaching me how to fly, Lincoln Center for being my home for the last 10 years off and on. Thank you so much. For the King and I, all of my beautiful cast and crew. You're such beautiful, proud people on that stage and off stage. I'm so happy to be there. My king, Ken Watanabe, you are the king, my king. Again, Bart Shear and everyone there. Fran Curry, you are my arm. And finally, and I forgot a million people, Becky, Beth, and Megan, I love you so much. My sister and my brother, finally, my husband, my teacher, my friend, my soulmate, the reason I can do everything I can do and have these beautiful babies at home. I owe everything to you, Greg Naughton. Thank you so much for all of this and for coming to see our shows. And I'll be back, maybe not up here, but I'll be on the theater stage. I'm going to do the worm. Woo!
it makes me emotional. I mean, it says it all, and that's why I wanted to show it all, because it says it all. Your priorities, and that's what my mother had. You know, my mother. I mean, she had the ability to work, and she had a movie career, but she took the Partridge Family so she could do a television series, so she could stay at home with her kids. And knew at that time, if you did a television show, your movie career was done. So, but her priorities, and that's what you say in that speech, Kelli. And when you reference Greg, it's just, you go, okay, there it is. You know what is right. You know what is first, and then everything else just goes from there.
Listen, I mean, a teamship is, a lot of people really, we think we can go through this world. I did a show, a big solo show, and I named it Never Go Solo, because the point of it is in this life, whether it be personal or professional, we never do anything all by ourselves. It is out of the generosity. We work hard individually, but it's the generosity of your team and the people that deserve your energy and that give you their energy that make you succeed. And when you have that sort of foundation of a family and my husband and my children, that makes all of this other stuff worth it. But it doesn't make it everything. That way I don't put too much pressure on it, because I have this going on with my home, and my husband's artistry is just out of this world too. And so he inspires me every day with his music and his filmmaking. And
Do you guys live in New York or outside of New York?
Outside of New York. Yeah. We're in Connecticut. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. And and where does your Tony sit in your house?
Well, it's right over there.
Oh,
It's sort of back in a corner. So even if I turned this thing, you wouldn't be able to see it. So.
So you also got, which I was like, it was so great. One of the wonderful things for me, because all the people that have done this, everybody said yes. And they've all been people that I've been so fortunate to have the chance to have worked with and stuff. But when I start doing like the research on all you guys, and I realized just what you people have done. I mean, I was already a fan to begin with, but it's astounding to me. And I was looking at you did The Accidental Wolf, right? You got an Emmy nomination for this?
Yes. So unexpected. I actually, my director called me when those came out, and I didn't even know we were up for one, because it was a web series. And I actually told him to stop messing with me. I think I cursed at him. I was like, what are you talking about? So yeah. And talk about a gift. I mean, that was basically an exercise to teach me how to be on camera. It was more like a class than it was an actual job. And then to get that, Arian Moayed is the director, writer, and he's on Succession and a new show called Inventing Anna. And he's just a really talented, guy, and he gave me that opportunity. So we did King Lear together. So
we have a little trailer clip of you. So
okay.
Call from unknown.
Hello? Hello? Who's this?
Where are you?
I'm sorry, I'm not a doctor. This isn't who you think you're calling.
Only a few of us left. My wife is injured. We did die. Me woman, me wife. Dr. Barry with
Hello? Are you okay? I know you've got the wrong number. Please, just English. Can you...
Wow, scary. Yay, scary.
Yeah, it's quite a thriller. Yeah. I mean, this has been a project of love, that's it is a thriller. It was so opposite of everything else I do that I really was able to learn so much from it. The baby in that pilot episode, if you want to know how long I've been working on this thing off and on, the baby was Charlotte, and she's now 6.5,
Oh my gosh.
So that pilot episode was shot, then a year went by, and then we shot a first series. We've since shot a second series, which will come out this year, and then we're going to do a third. So it's one of those projects that just keeps, giving.
Is there a killer in this? Is there a something horrible person in this?
You know what? I think they're really, well, it depends. I can't give too much away.
Okay.
It depends on how it's not one thing. And I think it's so socially, Arian has so much to say. He's an Iranian American. It has larger subjects that I've been educated so much about. And it's just, I'm so proud to be a part of it.
Well, it's interesting. Well, first of all, you should be on camera. We never want to lose you singing, but you should be on camera. You should be doing more stuff in terms of film. It's just because one, the camera loves you, but two, you're really great. So,
Thank you.
and I was gonna say, my mom, Girl Next Door, the Rodgers and Hammerstein ingenue, she wins the Academy Award for playing a prostitute.
Yeah,
when you get your shot to do something really meaty,
Right. Yeah. No, it is true. And I mean, we're all looking for that because I think the whole thing about being an actor, some people get angry, they see that, or they came to see King Lear or something, like, well, that's not what we expected from you. And the whole point of it as an artist is exactly, precisely, we're trying to stretch ourselves. I see a note from William, The Accidental Wolf, will be released actually in November, the first season, on a platform called Topics. It was out, but then they took it back because it got bought by an entity. So you'll be hearing about it more soon, but it's a little mysterious right now, which is on purpose.
And I saw you when you did Peter Pan Live, you were Mrs. Darling, right?
Yes.
Was that like a show, or was it much more sort of stressed because television, live, the whole bit?
You know what, I'll tell you, it was the strangest genre of art, of this art, that I've ever worked in. It would have been like a television show because we had, had guys on steady cams, we had everything, lots of rehearsal because I was mostly with Nana the dog. So I had lots of rehearsal with this dog who I loved. Bodie is his name. But the night of, and this just shows you how the training, Bill Berloni and his dog training goes, the night of the shoot, they're running over this, it's basically an airplane hangar. So one section has this huge Neverland, and then another section has the big ship with Captain Hook, and then we had our little darling house. I'm sitting in there with this dog, and it's live, and I'm sitting there singing, and I see the Steadicam in front of me. You're not seeing him because the second he goes to second cam, and Cam picks me up from these places, the Steadicam breaks. He starts running around wild and crazy, talking into his ear. Another Steadicam man comes in, replaces him. All the while, I'm just singing. I'm looking, trying not to look like I'm looking, And Bodie never takes his eyes off of me because I got the treat in my hand. And, this dog never gives away that everything kind of broke down in the middle of my solo song. And I just kept going, and they switched to psych. These people, these live, professionals, just doing things in the moment. So yeah, it's almost like Saturday Night Live in a way. You're shooting, you don't have an audience, but you're shooting in these sets.
But not, you can get away with something comedy if you're actually singing a song, and you had to do it live, right? It was all the singing was live.
Yeah, and it was not a comedy song. It was, thinking my children had been abducted, and all the while trying to give treats to the dog. And so it was a very high stress sort of moment. And at the end of it, of course, we were all just going, "Woo, we pulled it off,"
We have a picture. I have a couple of pictures. So you and I did the Manhattan Theater Club thing together, and I have a picture of you and I and Leslie Uggams and my brother that I want to show you.
Oh, right.
Look at, yeah. And by the way, my hair was white then, Kelly, but I used to color it tremendously. You look beautiful, and yes, you look about 18 there.
I was younger then. Here, let me get away from.
I was younger then.
I was so much younger then.
We play a game on this show, kind of the wrap up. But first of all, I can't thank you enough for doing this. It's so good to see you. It's so good to know that you are a mom, and that you and Greg are married 13 years, and that is your life, and that everything else that you've achieved is just a part of that. But it's just great to see you, because you were always, when I met you then, as sweet as you were, sweet and talented and kind. And I was just like, oh gosh, I'm just so lucky just to get to sing next door. So.
Well, thank you, Patrick. Thank you. And you too. And it's so nice to catch up with you and know of all your success too. Thank you.
So we do another game on the show. It's called You Become the Host.
Okay.
And you get to ask me one question, any question, but you get to ask me a question.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Let me make it a good one. Okay. As the son of an iconic musical theater ingenue woman, what would you say is the most important aspect of how she parented you to make you a success, to make you a balanced, successful person?
That's a great question. I've never
I
heard
need it. I need to hear it.
I've never heard it asked in that way. It was like it took a whole. Okay, so the answer to that is she told me not to go into the business. But what I mean by that is that her, and she told this to my brother Sean, and she told this to myself, she told this to Ryan, and she would say, you know, get a college degree. Now, of course, none of us did that, but she would say that she made us aware of what the business was, and that there were things that were much more important. To her, it was family, and to all three of us, it's family. Our children, our spouses, that is, as I was saying to you, that is the foundation of us. And everything else is a privilege and an honor that we get to do, but it's our job. The real meat and potatoes is the person I get to sleep with every night, the kids I get to raise and bring up, and the house and my mother created that.
I know we have only 5 minutes, but one more question. What's a role that you haven't played that you still want to play? What role do you want to play?
Me?
Yes.
Oh gosh, I've been doing this artistic director thing and resident director thing for well, the last show I did was 3 years ago, because I was since then I've been an artistic director, and I was resident director in Vegas, and the last show I got to do was I got to play Stephen Kadai, my father, who won the Tony Award in She Loves Me. So I'd love to do. It's a good question. I'd love to do Arthur in Camelot. I'd like to do. I think I'd like to do Cervantes too. And if I color my hair, maybe I could do Joseph in The Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat again.
Again.
You know, I did it, Kelly. People ask me all the time. You know, I think I was the oldest Joseph, because I did it in 99, 2000. I was like 37, and then I did it again in 05, 06, and I think I was 45-ish at the time. And I said, you know, if I could just do it one more time in my mid 50s, I'm ready to go.
No, you didn't do it. Yeah. I think you did. Did Megan Osterhouse tour with you on that one?
She did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's one of my closest. We live 2 minutes from each other.
Oh, will you give her my best?
I sure will.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
I sure will.
You are an absolute gem. I can't thank you again enough for doing this and being a part of this. And when this is all over, I'll come to you, and maybe we could bring you to us. And if you're not busy, and I want to get to see your kids and all of that good stuff.
Great. Well, thank you for inviting me. It's been nice to be here with you tonight.
You're awesome. Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you. Bye.
Wow, what a joy. We are lucky. We are so lucky here in Tennessee. Thank you, Kelli O'Hara. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you both for being here. Lynn McAllister, what a great show this evening. Kelly, you are as beautiful as you sound. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you, Kelly. You are. That's it for tonight. Remember, as I said, you know, we survive on doing productions and donations, ticket sales, donations. Right now, we don't have the productions, so please look at the bottom of your screen. Our show will go on. Is the campaign? We donate by clicking the button to Studio Tenn Talks. And again, Adam Pascal tomorrow, 10 a.m. Look, and on August 27th, we have our musical virtual variety show. We end each show with a goodbye song tonight in honor of Rodgers and Hammerstein and Miss Kelli O'Hara. I thought I'd go. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, good night, good night. Good night, everybody.